Hello, everybody, and welcome to Grow Up, Level Up, the interview podcast, where we interview folks about how they integrate fun and games into their day-to-day lives. And today, we are bringing in a very special guest, Ahmed Alameen from Lunar Games, to talk about his new game, My Father Lied. Joined to me today is, of course, my Gamers Club co-host, Jordan. We hope you enjoy this episode. It's going to be super casual, super fun, because Ahmed is not actually a full-time game developer. He's a full-time dentist and does game development on the side. So we're going to explore how he balances that lifestyle, what his game My Father Lied is about, and also talk a little bit about his Kickstarter launching very, very soon. So without further ado, let's jump into this episode. Hey, Ahmed, welcome to Grow Up, Level Up. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you introduce yourself? Like, tell the audience who you are, what you do, and how you ended up on our show.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. My name is Ahmed, and I'm from Mesopotamian, or as the young people call it today, Iraq. And I found you, I was watching actually some podcast about, gaming and stuff, and I happened to pass by your podcast, and I have a Kickstarter coming soon. So I thought, maybe I'll reach out and see what will happen. And this happened.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
As it all comes to be, and you said you had a Kickstarter coming. I know I kind of talked about it in the intro, but do you mind explaining what the Kickstarter's for? What's your project?
Well, I'm working on a game called My Father Lied, and it's a Myst-like mystery games with some Lovecraftian element. And it follows a daughter who tries to find the secret behind her father's 20 years disappearance. So, there's some kind of an emotional story behind it. But it's also inspired by 7,000 years of history and myths from my region. So I feel very personal connection to that story. So this is mainly what I'm trying to do. And My Father Lied, mainly all the puzzle areas is done, everything. I'm trying to do a Kickstarter just to have some fun for the voice acting and localization and art. So hopefully we can accomplish that.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'll throw up some footage of the game in a second. But before we get there, I always ask the guests these questions just to break the ice. What are you drinking today on today's podcast?
Oh, the drink of champions, water.
Oh, yeah, very healthy. Very healthy.
I just woke up, So
that's true. Yeah, Jordan and I are based here in Western Canada, so it's evening time for us. But where in the world were you based again?
Well, I'm actually residing in Kuwait, where in a working visa. I'm working as a dentist. Plot twist.
Oh, right. Yeah. We'll dive into that soon as well.
Sure.
What's your favorite video game of all time, though? I have to know.
There's no way you can answer that question. I have a lot, and there are so many genres, but I would say there's a game that till now no other game gave me that feeling, because I love stories more than gameplay. First, it's stories, gameplay, and whatever, everything else. And it's BioShock Infinite. I remember the ending. I just froze while I look at the screen, and I thank God I'm living at this time to see this game. Yeah, I never forget that ending. I keep watching it many times, but it was really, really, I love that plot twist. I never seen it coming. So that I would think, that's the best. At the moment, I'm thinking like that, but wait a couple of minutes. Game. I'm thinking about another game. Yeah.
That's great.
Moment.
Did you, are you a fan of the other BioShock games?
I am, but
Infinite
was, even though the first one was really good, that plot twist also, we don't want to spoil things, so.
No, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember with Infinite as well. I actually played that one first. And so when, when you reach the end, it's one of the few games that I finished it, and I remember laying in bed that night and just thinking about it and being like, I need to Google more about this game. Just read what people think of this twist and everything. So one of the few games that happened to me. So
there's another game I just love to mention is To the Moon also. That game is also
I'm not
did the
familiar.
number on me at the end. Yeah, also like I really love that. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know this one either. I'll have to look into this.
No, really.
Yeah.
Just bring a big box of tissues. You're gonna cry a lot.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. I see it.
Fair enough.
Getting ready is what you're saying. That's okay. That's awesome. So we touched a little bit about your game, My Father Lied, for those listening, at the beginning, and you described it as a narrative mystery adventure game, or with influences from.
And now we seem to have lost Samson. Well, I'll take over from there. Hopefully the recording keeps going.
Hopefully.
Let me. Oh, is he back?
Am I back?
Yeah. we lost you for a second there. I was about to take over, and then you came in for a second and then left, but now you're back. Maybe.
Oh, right. I mean, yeah, I'm around. Oh man, there's gonna be a lot of editing in this episode, or we can let it slide. So as my camera is off, Ahmed, can you tell us more a little bit about My Father Lied? Like, what are the influences? What's the gameplay like? And what even the graphics look like in the game? And for our video listeners, I'm going to throw up a trailer for it right now.
Go ahead, Ahmed. Well, Samson tries to pull that up.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for the trailer. What's that? Did I even do trailer? I don't know. I thought maybe something happened.
Here it comes. There it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's awesome. So it does look like kind of like you're in a mystery. You're in a museum, I guess.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And Jordan, have you seen this game before yet? Or seen this game yet?
So I did take a look a little bit, actually. What I've just done, kind of as we've been talking and everything, I pulled up the Instagram page for the game. It looks like you actually have you've done a lot of work here, Ahmed, to get it up and running and everything.
Everyone admired you.
Well, I've been working on it for like 2 years. I'm not just working on it. I'm learning how to do a game while I'm working on it. So yeah,
that's crazy.
That's awesome. So what do you mean by you're learning how to work on the game while working on it?
Well, to explain that, I have to go to the original story, to the story origin. The origin of how the whole project started. And I actually came from a writing background. I have some published novels and novellas, and I have this comic book which got funded on Indiegogo. It's called The Epics of Enkidu. It's about a superhero who has autism, and it's inspired by my nephew. And I won some screenplay awards. And while I'm doing all these things, I got contacted by an old friend of mine who saw these accomplishments and said, "Hey, we want to do a video game. Would you write something for us?" And I was, yeah, of course. Why not? And I wrote some kind of a synopsis and have some ideas. And because I really love Mesopotamian history, I came across an article which I really liked. It's about the old ancient witch doctors and like that. And they always tell people to stay away from dirty places because there are small demons that can go inside your body and make you sick.
Oh.
By our logic, those small demons is like bacteria, viruses, parasites. So when I saw this article, I thought, like things in the past that people think as, curses or magic or whatever, it's science. So I wanted to create a story where something sounds supernatural, but in fact there is some kind of a explanation for it. And that's how I started with this project, like story-wise. And we were like a team of 5 or 6. And while we'll do, and they made the mistake of most indie game developer, startup indie game developers do, which is they try to do a game bigger than as a first project, a very big game. Like at first it started like a simple game, but now they want to make it much, much bigger. And I remember trying to tell them, pump the brakes. Yeah, that's too much. Like it started as just a simple game. It slowly morphed into like God of War. Come on, take it easy. We cannot do that. And I think at the end, when they started to talk about, okay, how about we just do anything, like whatever, and we show it to someone and they'll give us $200,000 to make the game. And when I heard that, I thought, I definitely don't know what they're talking about. So I remember I kept arguing about this thing, and eventually, you know what? We don't want to do the game. That's it. And they dismantled. And I want to go back to being a writer again, but I really love the story. I couldn't, I really wanted to make it a game. It's fit for a game. So I thought, okay, how about I start to learn how to do 3D and how to do games? I mean, how hard it can be. And the answer is extremely hard.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah, so that's how I started to learn how to make games. I started with Blender, Blender
Sure.
3D, which is a free source 3D modeling program, and I dabbled on it a couple of times before. But when I started to get into the deeper stuff, at first it was difficult, but then it became smooth.
Nice.
And then came the engine, and I'm not a programmer, so Unreal Engine is the obvious choice. And yeah, it did well. It did well. So slowly I'm learning how to do a game, and that's how I actually develop a game. I'm learning how while I'm doing, like, every time, okay, how do I do things? I'd go to YouTube, I watch, okay, that's how you do it. And then come back.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So pretty much self-taught, it sounds like.
Yeah. It's self-taught. I took one Udemy course, but the game I learned to do on Udemy course is completely different than this. But at least I learned the parameter of Unreal Engine. I learned how to use Unreal Engine better. So it opened my eye to Unreal Engine, but it's what I learned there did not implement on my Fatherlight.
That's awesome. So how do you? We kind of mentioned at the beginning. Well, first of all, I didn't know you were also a writer as well. I forgot that you were also a writer as well. How did your journey go from writer to dentist to game developer by night? Right? Like,
well, it's dentist, writer, game developer.
okay.
Well, technically, yeah. Actually, it's writer for dentist because I was a dental student.
Sure.
And I was a dental student, and I always wanted to do, like, I always had this ideas I wish to write and like this, and I never did it. And until one time, there's a student, classmate. Sorry, my English is failing me today. My classmate, we were talking about stories and like this and movies, and then I mentioned the story I want to, I'm planning to write, and I remember this next day. It was in 2008. He was in a DVD store. He wants to rent a movie and like this, and he told me, "Hey, Ahmed, what's that movie you told me about? This guy, like, it was, it's like a thriller but with ghosts, like a spy thriller but with ghosts." Like, I had this idea. I told him, "No, that's not a movie. It's just a story I wish to write." He said, "Oh, I thought it's a movie like this." That's when I started writing. I remember, like, when I saw his reaction, I thought, maybe I have something. I started. That was my first book. It's called Sykes, and I wrote it in English. I remember, because at that time, the world perceived Middle Easterns like us in a negative view. So I wanted to do something to fight that negativity with something positive, with a good story. Even the book itself has a Middle Eastern good guy and Middle Eastern bad guys, and Middle East and Western good guy and Western bad guy. And the book starts with a quote that I wrote. It's good and evil has no passports. It wears many skins, speaks in different tongues, and exists everywhere, even in the same person. So I started with this quote, and I started the story. So yeah, so that's how I started as a writer while I was studying dentistry. And I kept doing it until recently. I actually did even one horror movie when I was doing a master's.
Wow. Wow.
You're a man of many talents. Holy cow.
Yeah, it was a very amateurish horror movie, which I did with a classmates. It went some film festivals, got nominated, but
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is this
It was
something
just
that we can
experimental.
check out online, or if someone's listening and they want to check it out?
I think you can check the trailer, but the movie is not online.
Okay.
It has some good scenes, but because the budget was only 2,500, and it's 64 minutes long. So a
Wow.
full featured movie with only 2,000 pounds.
No
It's
kidding.
not that, it's not Hollywood quality, but still.
So
but
that's
it
impressive.
actually
Yeah.
helped me. But it helped me in cinematography. I mean, if you see the
Sure.
scenes, the trailer and everything, I learned how cinematography from there, especially the color theory. Because I was also learning while I was doing that thing. So
That's
like
awesome.
the knowledge kept accumulating, and it helped me to make the game.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like in my area, like I work with kids, but we call that scaffolding, where it's like you learn one thing and that reinforces another thing, and it just keeps
Exactly. Yeah.
building on top, like scaffolds. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So bringing it back to the story of My Father Lied, you said that it was very inspired by Mesopotamia history, and through you, actually, I learned that is actually where modern day Iraq is. That's really cool. So how do you balance, as a writer, I guess, how do you balance the historical accuracy with also writing an engaging story?
Well, the thing is about Mesopotamia, it's where writing started. They say it's where history started because that's when people start writing. So, and that region have been involved in and have clashed with many civilizations. So, you can find Roman, um, what do you call it, artifacts, Roman history there. You can find Persian history there. You can find Sumerian, Babylonian, Egyptian history. So like that. So the thing is, there is a rich amount of history there. So you can always mold it in any story you want to make. It's like Assassin's Creed, They use history as their background. So they can always have in any region a story related to Assassin's Creed. So same thing. So that's how I can balance it, because it has a rich history, and you can write anything related to almost any time period, even like World War I, World War II. There are some secret histories about Mesopotamia and Iraq and like that. So it's really easy to balance the story when you have a lot of things to tell in that region. So yeah.
This is just a question coming from someone who's not a writer like me. But like, so with that, do you make stuff up, like in Indiana Jones, for example? Like it's historical based, but I don't think the Ark of the Covenant's actually gonna melt faces off. Like
You haven't
is
seen
there?
it.
Yeah, I mean that's also true. I
would
I
you
can't
know?
say. Is there like a fine line that you as a writer have to balance with stuff like that, or is there just so much to pull from that it's kind of free reign and you don't feel creatively limited?
Well, yeah, I mean, as what's it called? I'm sorry, my English is failing me again. As historic accuracy goes,
Yeah.
of course, you can. I did diverge. I created some kind of a different kind of deity in the game, and it's but the way I did it is exactly how Mesopotamian or even most history like Roman, Greek, or like this created deities. Most deities related to nature, like the thunder, sea, and sun, or whatever. They just create a god for that. So I use that logic to create something fiction, so it can be more related to people, especially people who are more familiar with history. So yeah, of course you can diverge from the accuracy. Just make it familiar. That's how I would say. That's how I can balance things. So yeah, it does have fictional stuff from the out, and honestly, it's filled with fiction. There are so many myths in Mesopotamia, so it's not easy to diverge from that. Yeah,
Very interesting.
that's it.
Talking a little bit more about the game, I want to talk about like the graphics. Like we talked a lot about the writing. I want to hear more about the graphics and stuff. What inspired you to make it like this 2D graphic style with 3D images? It's pretty unique. It's like a mix of two different graphic styles.
Yeah,
What
it's
inspired the decision, and like, yeah, how do you think it'll influence the player? And while you answer that question, I'm gonna throw it up for our video watchers. I'm gonna throw up the trailer again, just so they know what we're talking about.
yeah, sure.
But go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, I was the game is made by with 360-degree images and some 2D images, which I rendered in the in Blender. Like you can see, everything you see is actually an image. Like you can turn around and everything, but it's just a 360-degree image.
Oh, like a
And the
3D
reason
scan.
you could say that, yeah. It's a panoramic image, And the reason why I did it this way is because I want to make a game that look good. Hopefully, it looks good. But it can also work on low spec computers. Because most people in my country don't have strong computers. So I want to make something that can look good. They can play. They can enjoy it. They don't have to lower the graphics or anything, and it looks good. Well, good enough for an indie game developer, at least. While at the same time, it would not cook their computers. So yeah. Um, that's my logic behind it. And accidentally, I end up with a classic look actually, because some old games, I think they I'm not sure how they did in the old games, but maybe they did it that way. It reminds me of two games. One of them's called Darkness Within. The first one, not the second one. I forgot the Secret of Logan something. I forgot the subtitle of it. And there's a game called Dracula I used to play on PlayStation 1. It has like 4 CDs, I think.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's almost the same. Yeah, it's Dracula, The Rise of Dracula, or something like that. It's also a first-person point-and-click like that. So yeah, and even like the animation part in the game is like a frame by frame. So some scenes are done by frame. Something falls. It's just the image is changing one by one. So it's like old classic style, and you can notice that it's almost like stop motion sometimes. Yeah. So I got lucky with a classic look, because I love classic look. I love history, so I love classic. And at the same time, it's somewhat unique. It looks and it won't cook anyone's computer, I would say.
Yeah, won't cook everyone's computer is my new favorite saying.
So it's only gonna cook mine because rendering those images is too much. I really like, sometimes I really regret doing that, but I'm saying, okay, I'm doing it for them. Okay, I really wish to do it a conventional way. So that's my next game. I really want to finish this game because I really want to start my next one. I'm already excited for the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I already have the idea for that.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I really like the art style too. The more that I watch it, it does remind me of those classic point and click games, but it's like very modern, and it's like yeah, you're limited by your hardware, and it's actually very considerate that you're thinking about other people who may not have the 5090s in their computer, right? Or PS5s.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's so it's really cool that it's all coming together like that. What was the most challenging part of learning 3D? Like, you're a writer, you're a dentist. What was the most challenging part of like developing in 3D?
I would say the time, balancing the time, finding the time is very difficult. I work 6 days a week, and on my one day off, I just see my family, like in a gathering lunch. So it's really difficult to balance, and I'm also married, so it's not easy. It's not easy. That's the hard part, is finding the time to do it. But when you really love something, you really want to do something, you have a passion behind it, you push yourself, So yeah, it was difficult, but I really want to do it. I want to really make the game. So it doesn't feel difficult sometimes when you know that when you have a goal, you have a goal at the end of the road, so you think, okay, I'm just a couple of steps, just keep going. I'm already halfway there. So
True. And you're not like pressured by a higher power to finish it in time. Not a higher power as in like God or anything. I meant like a boss or something. That's what I mean. like a CEO.
If I get one more delay, this lightning will strike me.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, hopefully not. This deity that you made up in the game.
Well, I do actually. I do feel pressure sometimes. I really want to finish it. It's because there are so many. Like, we have a couple of, like, I think I have 2,199 wish list at the moment. And I have some people following and asking about it, and a couple of people playing it. Like, so many people played it on YouTube and like this. So I feel so many want to play it. So I feel I have this pressure that I want to deliver the game to them as fast as possible. So yeah, so I don't have a boss, but I wouldn't say fans. I'm just starting, but yeah, some people who wants to play my game. So I feel pressured sometimes. I really want to finish it quickly. I don't want to delay it more. I already delayed it once because I was planning to release it in February, but for two reasons. One of them, I needed funds for the voice acting and localization like that. But also, there will be so many sales at that time, so it's a mistake. So that's why I pushed it to May. So yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, it's good planning. So speaking of funding it and speaking of all that, can you tell us a little bit about the Kickstarter? Like, what's your plans with the Kickstarter? Well, first maybe start with when is it even launching? And then what are your plans with the Kickstarter? What is the money going to be used towards, and what can fans expect from it?
The Kickstarter will start on 11th of February, so it's not long from now, almost 11 days from now. 12 days because of the time zone for you. But yeah, it's, the funds is going to go mainly for localization. And we have stretch goals. Like a first stretch goal will ensure that it's going to be 3 languages, English, my native language, Arab, and Chinese Mandarin, which is my wife's native language. And the second stretch will be also different languages. I'm going to add an extra puzzle room on the game. And if we reach the third, on 3 languages, it's Spanish, Japanese, and something.
Mystery fourth language.
Yeah. And also, if we reach the third stretch goal, we're going to have 3 more languages and 2 more. So that's going to be 3 extra puzzle rooms. But the final stretch goal is my favorite because one of the rewards, because you have some backer rewards like the book arts and like that, but one of the rewards is a story puzzle book called My Father Promised, which is like a DLC in a book. It's going to be, you're going to go through the story, but to continue, you have to solve some puzzles to continue the stories. And if we reach the 4th stretch goal, My Father Promised will become a DLC. So that's the 4th stretch goal. Well, we also have a Valentine's early bird discount because it's going to be on February. So the first 5 days, there will be some kind of a discount. And we have really amazing awards. Should I keep it a surprise or should I?
It's up to you. It's up to you.
No, we should hype things up, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you're gonna get the game, a poster or something like that. But the other awards, like one of them is the art book. The art is I do everything in the game except for the art. Even the soundtrack, I'm doing the soundtrack. But the art is going to be done by someone else, and we're going to do an art book for her. Her art is amazing. Her name is Dash, and the other award is My Father Promised, the thing I said. And there's some Mesopotamian artifacts. One of them is the Royal Game of Ur, which is like the oldest board game found in human history. Wow. It happens to be our logo also, and so it's a really amazing game. It was found like it's 5,000 years old, and it was found in my city, which I'm going to today, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to drive there today, yeah. After this interview, I'm just going to take my bag, which I've already prepared, pick up my dad, and just drive all the way there.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
To collect the artifact?
For
the Kickstarter?
to collect and bring it back, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
that's awesome.
Also, and also we have one awesome one because the game has something called like the bonus puzzles. The game's puzzles mainly are like fair and you have to solve them to proceed with the story. But there are also side puzzles which are extremely difficult. But if you don't solve them, it will not affect your progress in the game. But if you solve them, you'll get my respect, and you'll get some secret messages that has some lore and things that will expand the world of My Father Light. And one of the awards you can get for backing the Kickstarter is you be the voice of that secret messages. You get to say those secret messages. So that's one of the awards. Hopefully people get excited. So you have things that you wish to have on your desk and things you can have on your resume. So that's the kind of award.
That's true, yeah. Yeah. Actually, you maybe get your IMDb page. Oh,
Hope so.
that's amazing. So
Yeah.
if listener or watcher, you are interested in supporting Ahmed in his project, My Father Lied, we put the links in the description below. So make sure you check it out. And this episode is coming out February. Let me find the day here, February 7th. So in 4 days, by the time you're listening to this, then the Kickstarter will be live, and you can wishlist it on Steam right now. And there's a demo out, you said earlier?
Yeah, there's a demo. It's a little primitive demo because when the game comes out, I want them to experience something a little new,
Nice.
Yeah. So, but it still works good. Most people loved it. I mean, I didn't hear any complaint from it so far. So,
Good.
That's good.
Yeah.
So Ahmed, you shared so much about your game, and thank you for sharing so much in your vision and all your influences, your different influences and skill sets coming together. Is there anything else you want the listener to know about your game, My Father Lied?
Wow. I feel like I've said everything, but I would say it's not inspired by true events. My father was extremely honest. He never lied.
Okay. Gotcha. You're gonna pick him up on a road trip later. Yeah.
No, the first time because I was in a family gathering and my mom was asking me, what are you working on recently? It was like 2 years ago. Not 1 year ago. I tell them I'm doing this story called My Father Lied. They say, Father lied? Your father doesn't know to lie. And just before I want to tell her it's not a true story, she said, we hate that about him. He's extremely honest, brutally honest. Yeah, and
Fair.
like even if we make a surprise birthday, he'll be just as surprised as the guy celebrating because we never tell him. He will be spoiling everything. Yeah,
Aww.
So yeah, actually I love that about him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, it's mainly My Father Lied is I would say it's a love letter to Mesopotamian historical people fan, and because there's a lot of positive things about us. And even Mesopotamia in general, like you don't see a lot of. It's the place where history started, but you don't see it a lot in the media unless it's horror movie or horror game. Then you need a Sumerian demon or something like that. Yeah, you don't like Pazuzu. The guy from. I even have it in the trailer. You saw that guy from the Exorcist movie, that the demon.
Oh.
Which in fact, and by the way, that demon is not actually a bad demon. In Mesopotamia, he's actually used to ward off each demon, but because of Hollywood, it changed.
Of course.
They made him the bad guy. I would like to correct that in my games. So yeah,
Awesome.
I just hope people will enjoy it. It's a story I'm very passionate about, and hopefully people can see my passion behind the game. And if I get one person to have a good experience with this game, for me, it's enough. Really, I like to feel like I did something positive to someone. So hopefully I can accomplish that with My Father Lied.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. You got me hyped. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Jordan.
Yeah, this looks and sounds great. I'm a sucker for a good Lovecraftian twist and everything. So, this is intense. I mean, most of this interview, I have not been looking at you guys. I've just been scrolling the Instagram page because you have just a ton of stuff up here, and it's really, really interesting to see your process. And you've got, hey, here's how something started, and here's how I layered on top of it to build it out in the game. And I mean, for me, I've always been into games, and always been curious about game development. There was a time where, I thought I would, wanted to be a game developer. And I still, I see people like yourself, and it's very aspirational to hear, you're a dentist by day, you're a writer by night, but then you're a game developer by tomorrow night. Like it's
different
very,
dimension.
Yeah, it's very, like I say, it's inspirational to hear that. If you want to do it, you set your mind to it, and you can. So yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. Well,
thank you.
Ahmed, second to last question for you. Do you have any thoughts or advice for someone like Jordan who wants to get into game development, doesn't really know where to find the time or between all the life's responsibilities? Do you have any thoughts or advice for aspiring creators like Jordan?
I would say be patient, because most people, they think they start and they want to have all these skills as fast as possible. It's like, it has to be like a layer by layer thing. You cannot just go in and expect to be really good at it, And the second thing I would say, learn something related to the game you wish to make. Most people enter this learning process trying to learn everything about game development and like this. They try to learn how to do something like God of War, something like Call of Duty, something, but decide what kind of game you want to make and learn the things you need for that game at first. That will speed up everything. I would say, be humble and modest. When you hit a brick or you feel it's too difficult, try to find another path or change your vision, change your approach. Let's say you don't have to. Okay, that's it. I want to do it this way. Okay. If you see that doesn't work, just do something else. Just like a different approach for your game. And don't feel bad about it. It's just if it doesn't work for you, find something that's as interesting, but that can work for you. And just work, do it, do the work. You could be the best. You could have the best game, best indie game idea, but no one will ever find out because you are too lazy to sit down and do it. So be patient about it. Yeah, really, just be patient about it. And as time goes, you have to try to find the time. It's not easy, I know, but a couple of hours a week at first, and then slowly the time, which at first is going to feel long, when you get more skills, you can learn faster. So yeah, it's like you push a big ball uphill, and then you just can push it down, and everything will just move faster. So at first it's going to be difficult. You have to know that it's going to be difficult at first, and after that it's going to be easy, hopefully.
Love that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love that. Yeah.
And one last thing. I'm
go
sorry
for
to say.
it.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Use what's your strength? Some people have 3D. Their strength is 3D like this. My strength is storytelling. So you don't. Yeah. So what's your strong at? Use. If there are things you cannot do, just find someone else to help you with. That's yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Know your
love
limits is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but play into your strengths, lean into your strengths.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jordan, maybe we'll work on we'll play off each other's strengths for our first grow up, level up video game one day.
That's right.
I'm love to help if you need anything.
Hey, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
That's
yeah. Let's talk about it. I have ideas.
Origin
my last
story.
Oh yeah. I mean, it does hook people, right? That's kind of what gets people in the door as well. A lot of time is the story. Ahmed, my last question for you. I asked this to everybody, all of our guests, but I want to know, what is your one piece of wisdom to leave with the world?
Doesn't have to be game related. Just
Oh, a piece of wisdom.
You already gave us so much.
I know
in the
that's
last
why I
question.
say that. Yeah.
Wow. How do you leave the world with wisdom? I mean, all these questions were easy. Now this is it's like asking, what is the key to life?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say so many things I wish to say. That's the thing. So, I mean, just persevere, be kind, and don't give up on the things you wish to do. But at the same time, be kind to the people around you. I would say like this. It really helps. It really helps. And even when you do the game, if you have a team with you, sometimes get frustrated. And try to be, understanding to everyone's time and limits, I would say. But honestly, this question caught me off guard. I cannot think anymore.
Hey, it's good enough. It's good enough for me. I love that. Be kind. I think in a time where things are very tumultuous, obviously, we forget to be kind, especially in the small things. When you have a kerfuffle with your teammate, choose kindness. Love that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Grow Up, Level Up, one of our special interview episodes. If people want to keep up with you and what you do and your games, maybe your next one or your third one, fourth one, whichever one, how can people follow you and keep in touch?
Well, we can follow me on most famous social media. We have the Twitter X, Luno Games Uruk, and we have Instagram, Luno Games Sumeria. You have also another Luno Games org on Blue Sky, which is my new favorite app. I really like Blue Sky. And there's and we have TikTok, Luno Games Assyria. I'm using all Mesopotamian kingdoms names.
Oh, I see.
So Assyria. There's Babylon, Luno Game Babylon on YouTube, and I think there's Luno Game Acadia on my Discord. I'm still learning how to use Discord. So mainly those all the. So I hope this is all of them. I post some things. I mostly post daily on those social media, so you can follow me there if you like, and hopefully, and please wishlist my game. I mean, you can on Steam, and hopefully, you'll get notified on that platform also.
Awesome.
So man,
and just one more time, what day is your Kickstarter going live for your game, My Father Lied?
11th of February, and we have, like I said, an early bird Valentine's discount on the first 5 days. So yeah,
amazing.
Nice.
And I'll make sure to link everything in the description below. Awesome. My name is Samson. You can find me on all the socials at SamsonXP or on Blue Sky at smsn. .bluesky.social. I managed to snag a cool handle there. But at SamsonXP on everything. Everything that Ahmed mentioned, I'm on as well. Jordan, where can people find you?
Honestly, I'll say you know where to find me if you care to find me. But on today's episode, I'll say go find Ahmed and go find My Father Lied on Kickstarter and Steam. I followed you on Instagram. I wishlisted the game while we were talking, so
thanks,
I'm looking
man.
forward to it now. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And if you liked this episode, you like what we do on Grow Up Level Up, where we interview folks about how to integrate fun and games into their day-to-day lives, give us a follow, a subscribe, share the episode, and let us know what you think in the comments below, whether you're listening on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you can leave a comment. Let me know. You can also find us at Grow Up Level Up on all the socials as well, and our Discord. I almost forgot about that. But Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a pleasure, and I learned so much about game development.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, looking forward to the game.
Absolutely.
Me too.